Welcome back to Visions. I'm Mirella Rich. If you've just joined us, we're here with Margaret Cross and Shane Huebner, who describe themselves as activators and wisdom teachers. Welcome back to the program.
Thank you.
Now, can you tell us, say for example, if I was going to come to one of your classes, or anybody watching was going to come to one of your classes, how do you run them? What will they learn?
Well, the thing that we like to do is one of the always, if you say you went to a university, your lecturer might have the notes written out and will have a set of, overheads, and they might do a PowerPoint presentation. So it's all pretty much formalised. What we like to do is we wait for the people to come to us, and then we sit down and we determine what each individual needs in that space at that time. So we have a number of different tools that we can use, and we use them flexibly as the whatever the needs come up for the people. But the first thing we do is we create a sacred space for people to do the work in. Because part of the job of wisdom teaching is to remind people that life is a sacred dance. Yeah? So that's part of it, of bringing people back to that connection with the sacred in every moment of their life.
Yes. We find that everybody has a knowledge, prior knowledge, what it is to be connected and who their true and what their true nature is, what we are essentially, not our experiences in our education, but we are essentially. So what we do is provide a loving, inclusive, safe space, and we have little programs involved where people will really remember exactly in that moment of, of course, I've known this, but I've never going to put my finger on it. So it realigns people and reconnects people in many ways and different degrees.
Depending on what your needs might be, everybody gets an energetic shamanic cleansing. Yeah, everybody. And we use that, many shamanic traditions use different kinds of things to help clean people's energy bodies. So with us, we use sacred wood from the Amazon. We have white sage, which is a cleanser that the Native American Indians use. That's just one of the basic things that we would do to make sure that people come into that space, that they're mindful, that their energy bodies are as clear as they can be, so that they're open to the work that they're going to do. We might decide to do meditation and breathings. We might do, breathing is about bringing you back into your centre, into your power arrangement within your body. So those are things that we'll do. We have a lot of media that we use. We've got some amazing DVDs and amazing quotes. We do a lot of, we just do a lot of wisdom teaching where people sit, ask questions, we go through it, we can talk through problems. It's almost like one-on-one counselling or mentoring, but it's completely dependent on the spirit of the moment.
Yeah, so it's almost like it's individually
tailored for people. And yet we can have 10 people in a class at the same time. We do prefer to have smaller groups, but we also do public talks. Where we'd actually just go out and talk to people about paradigm shift of consciousness that's required for us to all survive.
Well, what is the paradigm shift of consciousness?
Do you want to explain it, honey?
Well,
your turn.
I think it's essentially having to look and to think in a completely new and novel way, an expansive way, to be able to have far greater access to range and scan one's own understanding and intellect, and to understand that we are more than just a mind state, and we have an emotional state that feels as much as we can rationalize and deduce. So we teach people to feel energy. One of the ways I like doing is taking people on mountain walks.
Beautiful.
This puts people under a little bit of stress. We've done training in the Andes where you're looking at 4.5 kilometres high.
Wow.
So in that rarefied air, you find that you fall under a stress where you need to find a rhythm with your breathing and your energy output, and if you don't, you're actually starving yourself of oxygen. So but there are many different ways of subtly stressing people to come to a point where they're going to let go of their own clingings they've had from their past experience. This is one of the big things we find with people. We have this whole series of programs where we have attachments to certain concepts, and they might be right, I might be wrong, but the attachment itself, when it has this strong emotion degree to it, doesn't allow them to change and see things differently. So some of the programs have a little bit of stress, and we're there to help them. But in that stress, they go, oh, of course, I'm having this irrational or an illusionary attachment, whether it's to an outcome, you know. Will I find a partner? You know, and I am desperate. Oh no, don't be desperate, and it'll happen.
Because you've got to let go of it, you know. But what we're doing is paradigm shift in consciousness is really necessary now. The world's in a very bad way, and it's not enough for us to throw money at a problem anymore, to set up a government program. All these things have been shown to fail. They do not work. What we need to do is to remind people who they are, and the fact is that we are divine beings having a physical experience, and that anything that happens to me will affect him and will affect you. Anything I do to you, whether it's violence, that will actually come back on me. So we're trying to get people to see that they have cause and effects from the choices that they make. So that's a lot of what we do.
Very important.
So in living, instead of living as we're reading a story and the stories are being written for you, when you're living consciously, you're able to live and write the story in your moment. So you're actually creating your own process. And in doing so, you're no longer caught up in past fears and project them into the future as ifs and whats and maybes, but you have a far fuller experience right in the present.
Yeah.
It allows you to sense and feel much more.
Because we understand that we're not, when you live here in the duality where there's black and white and good and bad and love and hate, you tend to judge the experiences that you have when you're living as good or bad. We don't do that anymore. We'll sit down. If something happens to me, I don't go, oh, why did that person do that to me? I'll go, why did I create this experience? What is it that I am to learn from this experience? So I take full responsibility for that which I have created. Therefore, I'm no longer feeling like I'm the victim of life or that I am judging other people and saying, oh, you did it to me, you bad person. I've taken responsibility.
So beautiful. We're about to go to a break now. You're watching Visions. Stay with us. We'll be back with more very shortly.